Welcome back to the Prosperous Soul, and in this video we're going to be talking about disciplining your mind and just how important it is going to be to have the ability to reflect upon your own thinking process and to get to know that inner voice that is often very negative and critical. And so the more we can bring in an awareness to that voice and be in a space where we can detach from that and actually recognize that it's just a pattern, it is a loop, it is someone else's voice from childhood perhaps playing through us. And so we can then offer a new voice to counter that internal negative one. And so every time something negative comes up, it's about just being able to reflect upon that, recognize it, catch it, and say, is that really true? No, I don't think so. And offer a new thought, a new positive affirmation. That is so key. So your mind, but more importantly, your ability to reflect on your thoughts is truly the gatekeeper. It's where you get to say yes and where you get to say no. And every thought that you have, remember, is going to plant a seed for the next thought. And so we want to allow those thoughts to blossom into abundance and not to wither into lack. Okay, so most of us just let our minds wander unchecked. We are often just reacting and worrying and comparing and consuming, and then wonder why our lives often feel fragmented or scattered or heavy, maybe even depressed. But the key here is that whatever you focus on expands. I'm sure you have all experienced that. And so disciplining our mind and being very focused again on what we are planting in our minds, what we are allowing to loop in our minds, really is that major first step. And so don't think of discipline as a restriction. It's really choosing the thoughts that deserve your energy and which ones must be dissolved and just not allowed and challenged, right? And asked, is that really true? How do I know that, right? That's that famous statement. Is it true? You have to challenge that thought. Okay. So remember, every morning when you wake up, it's important to just recognize that you're going to wake up with pretty repetitive thoughts, similar subjects, worries, concerns. And so we have to train our awareness, particularly in those morning waking moments, and don't let your mind drift into old lack stories. Just keep an awareness there and just gently turn them in the opposite direction. I often describe the experience to people of, say for example, a dating app where you swipe left or right. When a thought comes up, you want to get to the place where you are going to choose whether or not to allow that thought to persist. In other words, you are not your thoughts. You are separate from your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. I'm sure you've heard of the analogy of the clouds passing by. This is just a cloud passing by. It's not the truth. Do not attach to it. When you attach to it, you become it and you develop the feelings in and around that thought. And so this is how we move forward, by allowing ourselves to be empowered enough to reflect and gain that awareness of our own thoughts. And sooner or later, the more you practice this, you'll see that you'll get better and better, and you'll literally see things starting to change for you, because you will then have an empowered state and you'll have wind in your sails to get you moving in that right direction. But it's a discipline, guys. I often also recommend people perhaps set an alarm clock to go off every day and just to do that reflection exercise and just check in with oneself and ask, well, what is it that I'm currently thinking? What's been the dominant story in my head, right? Become aware of it. That's the discipline. You're going to continually have thoughts, you know that. But the discipline is to be able to check in with yourself and ask, is this a satisfying thought, or is it creating a feeling in me that is not a desired feeling? So thank you for tuning in today on The Prosperous Soul. Look forward to the next video, and thank you for all your subscriptions and referrals and likes as well. Take care and catch you in the next video.